Before you move to Perrysburg, watch this video. There are reasons people rave about it and reasons you might think twice, but by the end of this video, you'll know whether Perrysburg fits your priorities. Hey everyone, it's Garrett Luhring here, your host of Moving to Toledo and local realtor with Danbury Realtors and the Luxian Home Team. If you're thinking about moving to Perrysburg, buying there, or just curious what life looks like, this video's for you. We're going to cover what Perrysburg does really well, its drawbacks, comparisons to nearby areas, and what you need to think through before you make that leap. If you get value from this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future neighborhood breakdowns. Now, let's start with what people love about Perrysburg, what makes many choose it above the other suburbs. Number one is the strong schools and education. Perrysburg City School District is highly rated. It's one of the top districts in Northwest Ohio. Parents often praise its academic programs, the teacher quality, its sports programs, arts, and the overall safety here. Students have very good test scores, great graduation rates in the 90%, and lots of extracurricular options. If education is a top priority for your family, Perrysburg is usually high on that short list. Also, it's got great location and accessibility. Perrysburg sits in Wood County, just south of the Maumee River and connected well via I-75, which makes commuting easy. If you work in Toledo or other parts of the metro area, the drive is doable, usually no more than 25-30 minutes, but plenty of times even less. You get access to shopping, dining, healthcare, and entertainment without having to go into downtown Toledo or the other nearby suburbs or areas. You have plenty of retail corridors like downtown Perrysburg, outdoor malls like Levis Commons, plenty of parks along the river to view and watch as well. Number three, quality of life and community. Perrysburg boasts a mix of suburban charm with modern amenities, nice neighborhoods, well-maintained homes, green spaces, trails, and a walkable downtown core. Safety is often cited by residents as one of the biggest strengths. Many people say they feel secure, that Perrysburg feels calm, especially compared to urban centers around Northwest Ohio. Amenities here are strong. There are multiple great parks along the river and within the city, good recreation facilities, plenty of different restaurants, new and old, high-end and casual diners, lots of shopping, tons of community events, and amazing farmers market every Thursday during the summer. So for families, it's extremely appealing. Number four on the list of pros are the property values and the resale. Homes in Perrysburg tend to hold value really well because of the desirability of the schools, the location, and the quality of life. Resale is often strong. Newer developments and subdivisions are being built, giving people more housing options, though often at a higher cost. Number five, variety of amenities. When it comes to retail, you have big name stores, especially with Levis Commons and some of the newer shops going in there. You have lots of grocery chains like Walmart's and Kroger and smaller places like Kazmeyer's. Tons of services throughout for anything you need. It's all just a stone's throw away. You also have outdoor amenities like trails, parks, river access, things to do in nature, and events surrounding these parks and these different icons of the city year-round. You also have tons of dining options from casual to upscale. There's not a huge amount of nightlife like in big cities, but enough variety for most people to enjoy and not have to leave Perrysburg and still get to try different unique options all the time. But like anywhere, there are trade-offs. So let's take a look on the flip side at some of the cons and what people sometimes regret or struggle with. Number one on the list is the cost of housing. Housing prices in Perrysburg are higher than many other suburbs around Toledo. If you want a newer home, bigger lot, upgraded finishes, expect to pay a premium. Inventory can be limited in the best neighborhoods, so competition is real. Homes often sell quickly, especially the really well-kept ones. If you like it a lot, there's probably other people that do too. On top of that, another con is the property taxes and local cost. So because property values are higher, your property tax bill tends to be higher too, but also relative to other areas of Wood County, Perrysburg has a higher tax rate per dollar. Services, amenities, and maintaining public spaces all add up, and your taxes go towards that. Also, maintenance costs for nicer homes, which include landscaping, HOA fees, or just neighborhood expectations, can increase monthly costs where most people don't even realize. Now, another con is the car dependency and the commutes within or outside of Perrysburg. Perrysburg no longer has a public bus system. It is suburban, which means for many errands, you're going to need a car and you're going to drive. Public transportation is extremely limited. We do have Uber, we do have taxis. It's not as prevalent as in big cities. You can bike, but you're going to be on that bike for a long time. Traffic during high commute times can be slow, especially on major corridors in near I-75 or I-475. If your job requires driving or commuting, well, that's going to matter. Moving on, looking at the growing development and the infrastructure strain. So, as Perrysburg grows, which it is growing and it's growing fast, some residents worry that infrastructure, the roads, the schools, the services, they may lag. More development brings more cars, more wear on the roads, increased demand for public services. New subdivisions can sometimes push local schools near capacity or stretch resources, and we are seeing that class sizes in the Perrysburg schools are at an all-time high. Another con is lifestyle trade-offs and social scene or lack thereof it. Nightlife here is modest, just like many of the suburbs in Northwest Ohio. If you want bars, concerts, large event venues, we do have some here in Perrysburg. However, they are a little more family friendly and they're a little less to choose from. Many people still end up going into Toledo for more of a nightlife scene. However, Perrysburg does still have some, and I want to emphasize that more than a lot of the other suburbs in this area. There's a lot to do in Perrysburg. However, depending where you're coming from and what your expectations are, it may not be as much as other big cities or even Toledo. Some younger people or those wanting more urban energy feel that Perrysburg is quieter, and that's great, but for some it may be too quiet. Another problem is diversity in culture, incomes, housing options is less than in big cities or rapidly changing suburbs. Some people feel it's quite homogenous, for better or for worse. Now, let's dig a little deeper and compare Perrysburg to nearby suburbs and think through which trade offs matter most. So, comparing Perrysburg to Sylvania. Sylvania has a somewhat older housing stock in many parts with more established neighborhoods and trees. Sometimes houses are more modest in size or age, which means maintenance may be lower. But Perrysburg often wins in newer developments and lot sizes. Looking at schools, both are excellent. In some cases, Sylvania schools are equally competitive, but Perrysburg tends to have more modern facilities. Really, this depends on the neighborhood and the specific school. Within Perrysburg, there are more recent retail growth and opportunities, newer subdivisions, and more planned neighborhoods. Sylvania may be more mature in some parts with a well established infrastructure, but it really just depends what's important for you. Now, looking at Perrysburg versus Maumee, Maumee is often more affordable overall. If you're budget sensitive, Maumee gives you more house per dollar sometimes. Perrysburg can be considered premium in price. For those wanting upscale homes, newer construction, and amenities, Perrysburg may offer more choices. Recently, Maumee has charm, older homes, character, sometimes more affordable options, but it really just depends on what's important for you and what part of the city you're looking in. Now, looking at Perrysburg versus Toledo City, if you compare Perrysburg and Toledo proper, the trade-off in Perrysburg is lower crime, better schools, a more suburban lifestyle, but in return, you may give up some of that city energy, shorter distances, the walkability, and other more modern or exciting amenities. Many people will consider it as, I get suburban peace but can drive into the city easily when I want. And that's a big draw, especially since the city's only about 20 minutes away. So here's the point where many people decide whether Perrysburg truly fits them. It's where cost, lifestyle, and priorities intersect. If your top priorities are excellent schools, safe neighborhoods, strong resale value, green spaces and outdoor recreation, a community that feels stable, clean, well maintained, well, then Perrysburg probably delivers more of what you want. In many cases, what you pay extra for is worth it because you are just buying a home. You're buying a community, services, and a certain peace of mind. But if instead you prioritize lower upfront cost of housing, more urban energy or nightlife, greater diversity of housing types, very short commute or walkability times, well, then Perrysburg might cost you more than you expect, not just in dollars, but in lifestyle adjustments. One statistic that illustrates this: Perrysburg's population is about 25,041 as of 2020. That makes it large enough to have many amenities, yet still small enough to avoid big city chaos. Homes are densely packed in some neighborhoods, but you often get bigger lot sizes and more space than you'd expect near a big city. So I hope you found this information helpful. I hope this has helped you come to a decision on if Perrysburg may be a good fit for you, or if some of these other areas we talked about might fit the bill a little bit better. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value here, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.